So, guys, welcome back. Today is the 8th of my Ghanaian Dream Challenge, and I am getting increasingly anxious because it is left with just 3 days for me to take a major decision about where to put my 100,000 Ghana cedis in order to be able to live my Ghanaian dream. So, guys, maize farming has come up seriously, vegetable farming, especially tomato farming, and then poultry farming. These kinds of businesses are promising to give me my Ghanaian dream. But out of the three, I still have to choose one. So let us take a little more detailed look at the maize production. Remember, this is my Ghanaian Dream Challenge. If you haven't so subscribed to this channel, please do so. Follow me. Let's see how we grow together. So, looking at the maize farming, I mentioned in a few videos ago that maize is one of the areas I may want to go in. So, let's look at some of the factors that are convincing me to go into maize farming. Number one is that there are experts all over. There are Greek extension officers and there are human beings, there are people that we know who are engaged in maize farming, who we can call to give us their experiences. There are also some YouTube channels that help to give information about maize production, maize marketing, inputs, and everything. So one I remember is the Ghanaian Farmer by one lady. There is also one guy in Uganda, and his social media handle is Money Agritech. There are a host of them. There are many. There are many on YouTube that one can get a lot of information from. That notwithstanding, the human beings who are engaged in this, I said I know at least two of them who are engaged in maize farming at the commercial level. So with this, that side is covered. Then we look at where to do the farming. The middle belt, as I mentioned a number of times, is a place where commercial maize farming is done a lot. And that place, rightly so, has two seasons. The first season begins around early the early year, around February, March. Then the major season begins around June, July, August. So with this, they are able to farm two times, unlike those of us in northern Ghana here who do only once. So, will I be able to get land there? Yes. If I want to get land, I can rent land there, or I can take part of the 100,000 Ghana cedis to buy some land. Will I get people to help me? Yes. These two people that I mentioned, should I want to do it there, should I decide to do it there, they will help. They will be of immense help for me to be able to get land there to do farming, whether it is um, on rental basis or it is at a purchase level. Now, there are also inputs, especially in that area. All manner of agric inputs are there. Even down here too, there are agric inputs that we, whatever kind of inputs we need, will get. So these are serious advantages. The other serious advantage includes that maize production has a potential to make me a millionaire. Starting with 100,000 Ghana cedis and increasingly reinvesting the money and consistently doing the farming of maize, I can become a millionaire and be able to live my Ghanaian dream. However, the analysis will show whether it can reach 10 million or not. So let's delve deep into the analysis. So starting with 100,000 Ghana cedis, if I was going to rent the land, so all the 100,000 can go into the production. So from renting of land to plowing of the land to application of herbicides to kill the weeds, to purchase of seeds. In fact, I've been advised that seeds are very important because you can't just get up and say you are going to beg seeds from another person. That you should go and solicit the right seeds. Some recommend hybrid seeds, and others also say you just import, you just buy the foreign seeds to sow. That there are complete differences between just begging your colleagues maize seeds to go and plant, to go and sow, and buying of the hybrid seeds or direct foreign seeds. So the prices are very different. The local seeds, let's call it that way, are far cheaper, and the hybrid or the other kinds of seeds are little more costly. So some farmers choose to go with the local seeds because they are cheap. However, at the end of the day, when you are harvesting, the results tell it all. So going with the 20 acres at 100,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the first season, that is, I mentioned the seeds, then planting at the right distances, then application of fertilizers at the right quantities and the right composition of the nutrients. Also, making sure you control the weeds very well, and then you harvest at the right time, you get the shellers at the right time, and you also bag at the right time. So with this, the estimate is around 5,000 Ghana cedis to farm 1 acre. So with the 1 acre, the estimate is that once you do all these agronomic practices very well, you are likely to make between 15 to 22 bags per acre. 15 to 22 bags per acre. And one of the people advising me on the maize farming, he has been able to do 18 bags. So let's use the 18 bags to make our analysis. So with 18 bags, currently the price of maize around the northern region and then in the middle belt is around 450 and 500,000 and 500 cities. So let's say 450 Ghana cities per one bag of maize, and you have 20 acres of maize. So 18 times 20 is going to give you around 360, right? 360 bags of 50 kg maize. So with 450 Ghana cedis multiplied by the 360, you are likely to get you are going to get 162,000 Ghana cedis. So that is for the first season. So you keeping everything constant, the rain coming at the right time and in the right quantities, you applying everything, sowing at the right distances and harvesting at the right time, everything, you are going to get at least 18 bags. You can get up to 20, up to 22. So with these 18 bags multiplying by 450 price per now for now, getting 162,000. So the next season you repeat the same, even though you are advised that when you do maize, the next season you should do like a legume, which is like beans or soya beans, so that the land will be nourished again for you to do the next season. So that notwithstanding, let's even say that the beans you are doing are going to have the same variables of 5,000 to plant and up to harvesting, and then also 162,000. So let's say that 162,000 Ghana cedis in the second season of the first year. So you have already spent out the 100,000 to do back into the soil. So you are left with 62,000 as your profit for the first season. So 162,000 coming out of the second season plus the 62,000 Ghana cedis you saved already, that gives you around 224,000 in total. So you inputted 100,000 cedis in 20 acres of land, then you harvested in the at the end of the first year of your investment, you got 224,000 Ghana cedis. So this is not bad, but we are going further up to 7 years. So up to 7 years, ideally, with these factors in place, I will need to increase the acreage. So from 20 acres, I will have to go up to about 50 acres along the line. So assuming eventually I'm able to get to 50 acres of farmland, and I do all the 50 acres, and I'm able to get 18 bags of maize, and the price, let's say, is still held at 450 Ghana cedis. So I'm likely to get, or I am going to get 900 bags of maize per season. So holding the 450 price constant, so I will get 800 and sorry, I'll get 405,000 Ghana cedis for that particular season. So 405,000. Let me do that calculation very well. So 50, I have 50 acres. Then I got 18 bags for the 50. That's 900,000, 900 bags. Then multiply by my 450 Ghana cedis per bag. So that gives me just 405,000 Ghana cedis. So then I do this twice in a season. So that gives me 810,000. So with 810,000, remember when we got the first one have doing 20 acres, we got 162,000 Ghana cedis. So the 162, we're able to save 62,000. So by percentage, that will give us say 162,000. What of it will be 62? What percentage of it will be 62,000? Let's say 0.6. That's 96. Then we take 0.5. Okay, point 4. Okay, so 40% of it is going to be the profit. So with 810,000 Ghana cedis, 60% of it will go into the inputs, then 40% of it will be the profit. So, but that notwithstanding, all of that is still your money, is still my money. Should I decide not to continue with the repetition of the farming? So, with um 60 64,000, 62,000 giving me from 162,000, then it means that with 800,000, with 810,000 Ghana cedis, 40% of it is going to give me 324,000. So I farm 50 acres and I harvest 18 bags and I sell at 450 Ghana cedis. So I make 405,000 Ghana cedis. Out of that, the profit that I make would be, I have 405, then I multiply by say 40%. That gives me 162,000 Ghana cedis as profit for doing 50 acres. So with 162,000 Ghana cedis every season, I do that for, let's say, remember I started with um 20 acres, and out of that, every season I'm able to save 62,000. Then I graduated to 50,000, and every season I'm able to save 162,000. So within the 7 years, how many of the 162,000 will I be able to save every season? So within a year, there are 2 seasons. So within a year, that gives me times two. So times how many years will I be doing these 50 acres? So assuming I'm able to do 4 years of the 50 acres, so that gives me 4 times 2, that's the seasons, multiplied by the 162,000. So multiplied by 4 years, so that gives me 1,296,000 Ghana cedis. So remember, this is exclusively my profit I'm calculating without the inputs. So with the inputs for 50 million, we already indicated, plus the profits, you are getting around 410,000. And in actual fact, the prices of maize will increase. Not today, not tomorrow, but it will definitely increase along the 7 years. So if it increases, it means the amount of profit I'm getting on the 50 acres of the land will be far more than this. Remember some few years ago, maize was bought for around 1,200 Ghana cedis per bag. So let's even assume that doesn't go up to 1,200, it goes to only 800. So that is times two of this amount. So meaning that this profit of 1,296,000 Ghana cedis for 50 acres would be doubled. So with this amount of money, I would be able to live quite comfortably, though certainly not as flamboyant as I may want to live, but this can get me to live comfortably. But there are some challenging factors which may not encourage me to do this maize farming. One of them, as I mentioned earlier, is that the rains. This calculation is based on rain fed, and out of every 10 years, the experts are saying that some drought comes, and during those droughts, maize suffers tremendously. In fact, all crops suffer in addition to maize. So, assuming the drought is 2 seasons or 1 season or 1 year, that means that this calculation is likely to be affected seriously. Sometimes also the drought is not across board, but the drought is only in some particular parts of the country. So God forbid, wherever decide to go and do the farming, that this drought within 10 years, it affects locally affects that place far more than it affects the entire country. That means that it is also a factor which is very serious, very, very serious. Then the land acquisition. So getting 10, 20 acres of land may not be a big problem. However, getting more land to increase it to 50 acres, especially very closer to where the 20 acres is located, is likely going to be a problem. But should I not be able to buy and I rent in the first year or first 2 years, the likelihood is that I may not be able to get the same land to continue to farm it for up to 7 years or more. So this is also another challenge which may be a setback to my decision to pick the maize farming. The other is that I have farmed for quite a while with me directly inputting my resources and going to monitor. It's been a while. So, in addition to the fact that this place is a distance away from Tamale where I am based, so it is going to be that I have to be traveling up and down. The risk involved is going to increase. Also the likelihood of spending more, which adds to the 5,000 per acre, and also the likelihood of me having to get accommodation over there. All of that have to will increase the cost per acre. So this is another factor. Again, the amount of return. I am looking to get about 10 million in 7 years with this 100,000. But this rate of return will give me only about 40% of 10 million. Even if we add, if I buy the land and I have to add the sale of the land or the value of the land, it may give me maybe up to 50% of 10 million. So that not bad though, but it doesn't meet the it doesn't meet the threshold I am hoping to get. I mentioned 10 million with this current exchange rate. That's about $1 million. So that it makes some sense in the fact that beside living in Ghana, to be able to get a house, to be able to get a beautiful car, to be able to take my children to school wherever I choose in the country, and to be able to take care of myself and my family, and also travel. So, whereas in Ghana, the 10 million could do so much, taking vacations elsewhere would have a significant meaning. That is why I try to convert it to dollars so that I see what is happening. But however, looking at the fact that the maize farming has a lot of at least two major challenges from this video, though it's quite difficult for me, but I think that I will have to look at between vegetable farming and poultry farming to see if I will be able to achieve my Ghanaian dream. Remember, this is the ongoing my Ghanaian Dream challenge, and I am putting in 100,000 Ghana cedis of my money to see if I would be able to recoup some good profits to be able to live comfortably so that I can compare myself to those who are elsewhere around the world and living a good life. So, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Follow me. Let's get this going. Out of the information I've shared with you, if you think that I've missed out on something very critical that can determine whether I choose maize farming or not, feel free to share it with me. I don't know everything. The information I receive from people may not be all. So please feel free and share any additional information you think can help me take a decision or help me to run away from maize farming. This notwithstanding, if you are a young person trying to start life, you may not need 100,000 Ghana cedis to go into maize farming. You may not need 20 acres to start maize farming. You can start with 1 acre of maize farming and gradually you can grow. You may not need 5,000 Ghana cedis to invest in maize farming, invest in an acre. You may need lesser amount of money because most of these cost that has come to make it 5,000 per acre is labor. And if you can do this yourself, you will be able to save on the cost per acre and you can get a lot of savings. You may also have land available to you that you you may not rent or buy. So if you are a young person, it makes a lot of sense to want to start with an acre. And remember the key success indicators which I have been told and which we have done the analysis depends on the kind of quality of seed you are going to use, depends on the distances between depends on the distances between the maize that you have planted. It depends on how you control the weeds, depends on the time and quality of fertilizer you have applied, and also time of harvest and everything. So these variables you can control, but the one you can control is the rain, and which is one of the reasons why I'm running away. But if you are starting life, this is one of the cool chops you can have. You can try your luck as we did whilst we were also very young than this. You can try your luck in this, and who knows, before you get to the age we are in now, you can be a 100-acre maize farmer or even more. Thank you so much. Day 8 on my Ghanaian Dream Challenge, and we are on. See you tomorrow.